Welcome to day 19 of the 30-day holiday video challenge. Today we're kicking off the Christmas section of this challenge with some Christmas cookie pops. Hi there foodie friends, my name is Carly and welcome to my channel Adventures in Yum. Before we get into today's video, I have a passion for learning about creating and trying new foods, drinks, and especially desserts. If you want to join me on my yummy adventures, and especially for this challenge, then please make sure to hit subscribe and turn on notifications so that you'll know when I upload new videos every week. Now, let's get into today's video. To a microwave safe bowl, we add about 3 cups or 510 grams of Ghirardelli white vanilla melting wafers and melt them in the microwave in short increments until completely melted. As always, make sure to stir in between each heating. Once completely melted, we dip the tip of a popsicle stick into the candy melt and carefully insert it into an Oreo cookie and then place that on a piece of parchment paper. We then repeat this with the rest of our Oreo cookies. We're going to turn a few of these into Disney-themed cookie pops, so we're dipping the tips of 2 mini Oreos into the candy melts and then placing them on a piece of parchment paper, touching one of the large Oreo cookies on sticks that we just finished preparing. We arrange them so that they look like ears, and then we make sure to let the candy melts completely harden. Once the candy melts are completely hardened, we dip each Oreo cookie pop into the vanilla melts and make sure that each one gets completely covered. We gently shake off and slightly scrape off some of the excess melts and place the cookie pop back on the parchment paper. We repeat until all the cookie pops are coated. For 2 kinds of our cookie pops, we're adding some sprinkles right after the cookies are dipped. For the first one, we're adding blue sugar sprinkles all over the top, and then for the others, we're sticking 1 orange Jimmy sprinkle perpendicular to the surface of the cookie. This can be a little bit tricky, but using food tweezers definitely helps. Once we're done, we let all of the vanilla coatings on the cookies fully harden. For our first decoration, we're simply adding tiny dots of the melt and then placing snowflake sprinkles on top. And that's it for our Winter Wonderland cookie pops. For our second cookie decoration, we melt some green candy melts in the microwave, and once they're fully melted, we add a teeny tiny bit of vegetable oil. Once that's mixed together, we add it to a piping bag. We then pipe a drizzle of the melts in the shape of a tree on one of our cookies, making sure to start small at the top and continue to get bigger as we get to the bottom. We then immediately add a star sprinkle to the top and then sprinkle some rainbow nonpareil sprinkles over the tree because these represent our lights and ornaments. We want to make sure to add the sprinkles before the candy melts start to harden or else they're not going to stick. Once we get faster, we can draw and decorate multiple trees in a row. And that's all we need to make these super cute Christmas tree cookie pops. Before we finish these cookie pops, if you're getting value out of this video, then please make sure to hit that like button, click subscribe, and ring that bell to be notified about my latest video. For our third cookie decoration design, we're making snowmen. That's why we added that orange sprinkle while the vanilla melts were still soft. That's our snowman's nose. To finish these, we simply melt some black candy melts in the microwave, add a little bit of vegetable oil, and then use a fruit brush to add dots for the eyes and little dots for the mouth. And that's all there is to making snowman cookie pops. For our fourth and final design, we're making an additional element to start. We take some Hershey's Kisses and carefully cut them in half as you see here. There will most likely be some casualties that cut weirdly or break weirdly, but that's just a treat for you to have later, so set those ones aside. Once we have some nice looking ones like you see here, we dip them in some red candy melts that we melted in short increments in the microwave and thinned with a little bit of vegetable oil. We then use a fork to remove them from the melts, shake off the excess, and place them on a piece of parchment paper. We repeat this with the rest of our kisses and let them fully set. Once they set, we dip the bottoms in some vanilla melts and then immediately into some sprinkles. White nonpareil sprinkles will work, but for these ones, I decided to use some white sparkling sugar sprinkles. We repeat with the rest of them, and while they set, we add some of the melts onto the parchment paper and connect it to the tips of the kisses. We then add a generous amount of sparkling sugar sprinkles. While we let those set, we're using the black candy melts to draw Jack Skellington faces onto the cookies with the ears. Once our little Kiss Santa hats are ready, we're using a paring knife to cut some of the excess sprinkles off the bottom and sides of the hat so that they'll fit perfectly between the ears and on top of the heads. Finally, we add a little bit of the vanilla melts and stick the hat onto the Jack Skellington heads. We let that harden and they're complete. These are all so much fun to make. Which one do you like most? You can also find these Christmas cookie pops on my website, adventuresinyum.net. The link is in the description below. Make sure to come back tomorrow for day 20 where we're going to be piping some Christmas meringues. If you're interested in checking out some of the products that I used in this video, then please make sure to check out the video description below for their Amazon links. Thank you so much for joining me today, foodie friends. I'll see you next time for another joyful, yummy adventure.